Yo, 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 what is going on, my fellow wrestling fans? Welcome to a brand new week, and welcome to a Money in the Bank week edition, that is, of what we like to call the Clash of Le Champions, where we dive headfirst into all the controversy, storylines, personalities, and all that ish in between that center around this world we know and love as professional wrestling. For better or worse, I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka the Professor, aka Kurt GPT, in the flesh as always. And my co-host needs no introduction, but the hell with it. He's about to give y'all one anyway.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is co-host, his tag team partner, Jonathan Randall, at your guys' service. Always make your life an adventure, as I always say. And welcome to our special presentation, our special prediction show, as Money in the Bank is this Saturday in Inglewood, California, in Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. This Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, no, 4 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. No, 4 p.m. Pacific time on the West Coast, 7 p.m. on the East Coast, ladies and gentlemen. On Peacock, do not miss it. It's going to be one hell of an event. And we got a stat card coming up.
Stat card my ass, there's only 4 matches.
Dang, I thought it would be more. I saw that and I was like, damn, only four?
Yeah, they're really
Man,
on it. Yeah,
they
they're on
really,
some weird ish
they,
right now.
they've been really been on Triple H, and I mean, I kind of can't blame them, especially after what we saw this past Monday.
And what is that you're referring to?
I'm referring to the last match, the fact that well, the week before that, they announced on Friday that there will be a qualifying match for the last spot in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match between CM Punk, AJ Styles, and El Grande Americano. Right?
The
And I
Pride
was
of
like, oh,
Mexico.
right. Right. But anyway, when you look at this match, Kurt, you're kind of like, oh, this is all in Punk's favor. Like, this is a golden opportunity for him, just waiting for him, right? So the following week, this past Monday on Raw, CM Punk opens the show and he cuts a promo pretty much like, look, I need to be champion again. Pretty much saying, hey, I could go after my friend Jey Uso, or I could go after that fraud, John Cena. And then Sami Zayn comes out and he's pretty much motivating him to tell him, like, look, you need to win this for you. Don't worry about me and Jey Uso and everybody else. You need to focus on you and getting this job done. And when you do win the Money in the Bank ladder match, right? He's pretty much saying, hey, this next conversation is not going to be the same. He's pretty much, I'm coming after you once you become the champion. And great promo. No, sorry, great segment between the two. That was just the perfect way to start it, because you like, look, CM Punk, he's already feuding with Seth Rollins. That would have been perfect to. This is a perfect way how they did it, but it didn't really turn out that way later that night.
Yeah, basically they had the match with Punk, Americano, and AJ Styles, and then Punk had the match won, and then Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker showed up and attacked
Not
him, and
surprised.
then that led to Americano taking advantage and hitting AJ Styles with the headbutt with the metal plate in his mask and got the win. So now Americano's in the Money in the Bank. I guess that makes somewhat sense because he's still feuding with Penta, so I guess they'll play out that feud. But yeah, this was Punk's match to win. And like it's like one of the biggest PLEs of the year. And like
Yeah.
Rollins already qualified the week before, and Punk attacked him afterwards. Yeah, it felt
Yeah.
like all roads were leading to Punk, winning. And then for whatever reason, they did this shit.
Yeah. And regardless, though, Punk is not on the card. That's weird. I know he's gonna get involved in that match. I know he is, but just the fact that he's not on a card is odd, man. And there's this post that I saw. See, like, look, listen to this. Vince's philosophy is don't waste TV time building up a match you're not gonna do. Paul Levesque's philosophy is build up a whole bunch of stuff to make people think they think that Punk is gonna win for sure. So it throws them off when he doesn't.
Or no,
This is
it's
from
more
Dave
in the
Metzler.
sense It's more in the sense of like, teasing a whole bunch of matches to make people think that they're gonna get them, but they don't get them. Kind of like the Raw before the Royal Rumble when they teased the Punk and Cody match possibly happening, and we ended up
Oh
not
yeah,
getting it. And they were
yeah,
teasing a whole bunch of different scenarios, like Drew against Roman, all this other jazz,
mm,
and yeah, we got none of that.
right. But I mean, stuff like that, I don't like that sometimes. You know what I mean? Like this right here, this is one of the criticism that the fans are talking about that Triple H is getting. And look, it's been mixed. If I had to give from 1 through 5 on what's been going on ever since, not since Triple H's been in charge. I think ever since the TKO merger, I'll probably give it like 3.5.
Okay, that's fair. And the thing with Triple H also is just the fact that there's like no defined roles as far as like baby faces and heels go for like certain people. And like certain
Mm.
storylines are kind of like taking forever to like, pay off and forever to like, have something exciting happen. Like Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, they've been teasing issues between them since like last November. And like, they still haven't like really officially broken up or split up yet. Yeah, that being one example. On
And then
Rollins, yeah, they were
also,
teasing. Yeah, and they were teasing Rollins turning heel all the way back to like like Survivor Series time, and they didn't turn him heel all the way until WrestleMania.
hmm,
Yeah, things like that, and not to mention, he doesn't do himself any favors by saying in interviews, "Oh, stop criticizing, stop being critics, just enjoy what we give you." Yeah, that kind of approach and that kind of response also wasn't helping your cause.
yeah, I felt like the decision to have a Grande Americano win was just not the right decision. Look, I have nothing against him. I like him. You know what I mean? But it's just like when you watch that promo in the beginning of Raw, it's like it's all leads to Punk being in this match. It's the perfect setup. Look, I look at the you look okay. You look at the people in this match for the men's Money in the Bank match, right? You got okay. It's somewhat decent. Okay, you got Solo Sokoa, LA Knight, Penta, Seth Rollins, Andrade, and El Grande Americano.
Yeah, some of the people who qualified
That
for this match are a little sketchy, like Solo Sokoa and Andrade is great, but he hasn't done anything in months. And they sacrificed Carmelo
right,
Hayes and Jacob Fatu for Andrade, who like doesn't really do much these days. Yeah, it is a little
right.
sketchy. And now
Yeah,
Punk they
it's
sacrificed in this case.
yeah, it is. I think. I mean, no offense to everybody, but like this is kind of like a weak ladder match on the men's part.
Yeah, it could be a little better, but I think it'll still be good. I think they'll still, go out there and kill it. But yeah, it's a little sketchy, some of the people they excluded from it. But the women's one looks solid. The women's one I'm definitely
Oh,
more
very.
excited for.
I
I'll be
love it.
honest with
I love
you.
it more than the men's.
As recent Raw call up Stephanie Vacour qualified for the final spot this past Monday on Raw in a triple threat against Liv Morgan and Ivy Nile. Also, last Friday on SmackDown, my girl Naomi qualified after she defeated Jade Cargill and Nia Jax. So the card for the women is officially set as we have Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Julia, Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Vacour, and Rhea Ripley.
Yes, I like this lineup.
Great
I like
lineup.
it. Yeah.
Honestly, I have to, and like what I will, give Triple H this, despite like some of the faults we've been seeing in the show the last few months. The women's division feels a lot stronger now. I have to admit that the women's
Oh,
division
very.
on both shows feels a
It's
lot stronger, especially Raw.
yeah. It's balance. It's very balanced. It's you have your like okay. Really think about it, Kurt. Your your big stars like Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, your top stars. They're not the champions. But who else? Who are the champions? Io Sky is a champion. Tiffany Stratton is a champion. Those are your upcomers. It's balance.
And Lyra Valkyria, you got to throw in there too with the women's IC
Yeah.
title.
Yes. Yeah. It's very balanced, and it makes things interesting. Where the top guys they're not always the champion all the time. You know what I mean? So when stuff like that happens, it's good.
And also the women who aren't even the champions right now, like feel interesting in the most recent call-ups, like Roxanne Perez now being involved with Judgment Day, and
Yeah.
Stephanie Vacour, she already has like a lot of momentum right now. And Julia, I'm sure Julia will do well. And Naomi, even though she's not the champion or like really in that kind of mix, she's still killing it, doing some of the best work of her career. So yeah, their
Yeah,
women's division is really in good hands right now, and I'm liking where it's going.
yeah, because of the storyline and the storyline that she's in, right? Is it doesn't involve a championship. That what makes it even better. So, yeah, I would have to say, Kurt, this would probably be the women's. The year's not even over yet. We're only in the middle of the year. So far, I think this is their best year.
Yeah, it's looking like that way. And I think it'll definitely play into what we see in the women's Money in the Bank this Saturday. I did like on Friday that segment between Bianca, because she was in her hometown, and also Naomi, where Naomi basically
Mm.
told her, "You better watch out, or else you're gonna end up in a wheelchair just like your mom."
Wow.
Ooh. And talking about how she
Good
broke
heel
into
heat.
her house, and talking about how she broke
Right.
into her house and was like looking at the pictures and like looking and like talking about Montez Ford, talking about how Montez Ford needs to eat some of her cake because it was his birthday the other day.
Mm. Mm, mm,
Shit, yeah,
mm.
I'm loving this new Naomi, son. I'm loving this new Naomi. So, with that
I
being
bet.
said, since we already started talking about Money in the Bank, let's get into our predictions. Let's do it right now.
Okay. So let's just go ahead and start with this match. So we have their women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And as the people you just said, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, and Stephanie Valkyrie. I'm a little bit surprised, a little bit disappointed that Liv Morgan didn't qualify. I thought she was going to qualify, but she didn't. But at the same
Yeah,
time, I'm very happy for Stephanie Valkyrie, though. I love her. I'm so happy that she's in this match. Um,
not as happy as Booker T is.
I know, right? Exactly. Huh. See, this is very interesting because it's kind of like hard to pick, you know?
It's between three people. I think it's between three people.
It's between Roxanne Perez, Naomi,
Yes.
and Rhea Ripley.
No, no, Stephanie
No.
McCoy. I think it's between
Oh,
those
okay.
two.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Rhea doesn't need it. Rhea does not need it.
She could just even if she, okay, let's just say she loses the match, right? She could still go after Io Sky like she wanted
Yeah.
to in the past. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think that match still needs to
Um,
happen. And I think they're gonna
yeah,
probably
it
do
will.
EO. Yeah, and I think they're also gonna do EO and Live from what we've been seeing so far on TV.
Hmm. Okay. Well, you know what? It would make sense. Naomi.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick her too. I think Naomi
Yeah.
gets it.
Yeah. With the stuff that she's been doing, the storyline she was involved with Jay Cargill, and especially what she did to Bianca Belair this past Friday on SmackDown with the heel heat that she's been getting. I think Naomi's the right person to pick to win this match.
Yeah, Roxanne Perez and Stephanie Vacour, I wouldn't be mad at if they won it, but I
Mhm.
think that Naomi should get it. I think out of all of them, especially considering what Naomi was saying a few weeks ago on the Bellas podcast about how like her career is kind of winding down and this
Mm.
could possibly be her last run, I feel like she should definitely have a monumental moment in that last run with the Money in the Bank win, and I think she gets that here. She'll have the
Mm.
briefcase, have a nice run with it, cash in, and have one last title reign.
Okay, I can see that.
So
That's why I
Naomi
picked her.
wins.
Yeah.
So Naomi wins, and to the five other women in the match, I suggest all of you proceed with caution.
Okay. No pun intended. Right.
All right, so
Okay.
moving on from one women's match to another, we have the women's intercontinental title match. And honestly, one of the best parts of Raw over the last month, I would say ever since WrestleMania, we have
Mm.
Lyra Valkyria defending her title against Becky Lynch.
But there is a stipulation in this match. And I'm not talking about no disqualification or anything like that. It's simple. If Becky Lynch loses, she can no longer challenge for the women's IC title as long as Valkyria is champion. But if Lila Valkyria wins, she will be forced to raise Lynch's hand and acknowledge Lynch as the better woman.
And I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. Lila Valkyria got her victory. She got that monumental win at Backlash, but you got to turn the tide now. You got to have Becky Lynch to win. So to make the storyline interesting and better.
Yeah, I mean, Lyra's been doing great work. Like even on her promo, she's been great. Like the last month or so, And I feel like the people are starting to get more behind her. But the way to really, really get the people behind her is for her to chase Becky for the title for a little while. And I think
I agree.
that's what's going to happen following this match. Is Becky will be the second women's intercontinental champion, and Lyra will be forced to raise her hand and say that she was the better woman on that night.
Yep. I think what's gonna happen is that she's gonna raise her hand and then probably like sucker punch her,
I
like
wouldn't
to
be
get the
against
last
that.
laugh. I think
I
that's
could
what's
also
gonna
see
happen.
I could also see Bailey possibly showing up afterwards and confronting Becky because of what happened WrestleMania weekend. I definitely see like Bailey
Hmm.
somehow getting involved in this in the coming weeks. But yeah, I
Hmm.
think in this match, I think Becky needs to win. Becky lost the match last month, didn't hurt or anybody really, but I think Becky gets the win here.
I agree. That's why I picked her. So you gotta, if you have, the crowd is behind her, but like you said, if you lose the title and chase after her, you're gonna get really more support from the crowd. So yeah.
Yes, and one person who deserves no support is the person we're going to talk about in this next match, as we have a tag team match which includes the douchebag fuck Logan Paul and WWE champion John Cena taking on world heavyweight champion Jey Uso and the returning Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. What do you thought about that segment that they had on SmackDown this past Friday?
It was good. The one weird thing about this is that Cody kind of got screwed out of the title at WrestleMania, and then he comes back after being gone for over a month, and his idea is to challenge John Cena to a tag team match.
I Yeah, with the with the exception that look, he was helping Jey Uso because he was getting attacked by both John Cena and Logan Paul, and he kind of like that's my only justification for that. But still, it is a bit weird. We'll see what's going to happen after. We'll see what happens after. Maybe Cody will challenge John Cena at SummerSlam. Maybe we'll see what's going to happen, but I don't know.
I
Hmm.
think Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso win, and John Cena possibly blames Logan Paul for the loss.
Logan Paul gets pinned. Now, back to the segment that they had on SmackDown. At the end of the segment, John Cena and Logan Paul were kind of like going at it a little bit towards the end. Kind of like not on the same page with
Yeah,
each other, apparently.
honestly, I sincerely hope that happens, that they lose because of Logan Paul, and John Cena
Yeah.
does to Logan Paul what he did to Batista in 2010 before Batista went into retirement.
But well,
And their I Quit match when like John Cena like dropped him through like the stage area.
oh, I probably don't remember. I don't. Yeah. I don't,
Because like that's why Batista was in the wheelchair the next night, and that's
yeah.
like when he
Yeah. Yeah.
quit,
Yeah.
and then he was gone for a
Yeah.
few years. Yeah, that was like that
Mm-hmm.
match.
Mm.
Yeah, I hope
I
that
don't know,
happens
man. How
there.
do you still feel like this heel run from John Cena is just it's not worth it. It's just like what's the whole point?
It's been a mixed bag. I think the night it happened, it was great, but then you
Yeah,
know who decided to disappear afterwards. So that hurt one
didn't
aspect of
even
it,
make it work.
and
Yeah,
yeah, and just in general, I think Cena's doing the best he can. But yeah, just something about it feels a little off.
it's just off. It's not the same, and um, I feel the same way. I just feel like it's just a little bit off. It's just really not him. You know what I mean? And then like you said, your idea was to do this, but who did not show up not only during the build up or at WrestleMania, and it made things worse. So I feel like at a certain point before this year is over, he needs to go back to being a babyface.
Oh, he will. There's no way that he won't. There's no way he's gonna retire as a heel. That's not
Yeah,
happening.
I know. It's just it's weird, and just the flow of it is just I don't know.
Yeah, and honestly, out of all the matches on this card, this is the one I'm interested in the least.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think it'll be fine for what it is. But I do think Cody and Jey Uso pick up the win. But I do think Jey Uso is going to take a really horrible beating in this match because Gunther's been like playing up the last few weeks about how Jey Uso is always getting
Oh
involved in
yeah.
his friend's business, always helping out his friends, and he ends up getting beaten up in the process, and he's going to take advantage of that when they face each other on Raw Monday. So I think that's
I
going to
can't
be
wait
another
for that.
factor that plays into it. Yeah, honestly, I'm looking forward to that match with Jay and Gunther on Raw more than I'm looking forward to this match,
Oh, of
hands down.
course. Of course, because look, you have a world championship match on Raw. Come on now, like it's one thing when you have it at a PLE, but when you have it on your flagship show, that makes it even better. You know what I mean? Like having a championship match on a show, Kurt, is a given. You know, and I heard like recently today that this past Monday, Raw the ratings was the lowest that they have ever since they moved to Netflix.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that too. How like the move to Netflix
Yeah,
hasn't really been popping the way they thought it would.
I don't know. I hope the ratings are high for this upcoming Monday, man, with the championship match. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's a summer season. I think things will heat up a little more. Hopefully, like Triple H starts to spice things up. Hopefully, he's like less afraid to take chances, and we like see some more
Mm,
spicy TV in these coming months. But I do
yeah.
have Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes winning this match, and I definitely think Jey Uso retains against Gunther on Raw Monday because I think some
Oh,
kind of angle's gonna go down. Yeah, some shit's gonna go down where
oh, of course.
Gunther's not going to win. Possibly Goldberg will show up and cost him the title because Goldberg's rumored retirement match is supposed to happen this summer in the South, and they're going to be in the South for Saturday night's main event next month in Atlanta. So that's the perfect place.
Yeah, perfect
So that
place.
could possibly happen,
Yeah.
or Money in the Bank cashing could happen. Yeah, either or. But
Mm,
speaking of Money in the Bank cash-ins, let's get into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match as we have LA Knight, Solo Sokoa,
yeah.
Andrade, yes, Andrade, Penta, Seth freaking Rollins, and El Grande Americano.
I want to say Seth Rollins to get more heat, right? But CM Punk is going to cost him the match.
Yeah, I think CM Punk screws him. And with that being
Yeah.
said, with all the participants in this match, the one person who I think is going to win Money in the Bank for 2025 and the person who needs it the most is LA Knight.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of chatter about him winning. So, look,
I mean,
I said this
let
before WrestleMania. He is that guy. Even JBL said it on his podcast too. He's that guy where he's on that next step to compete for the world title, and he needed to lose that U.S. title to Jacob Fatu at Mania, which he did in order to get to the next step. This is the next step, and I could see him doing it.
Yeah, because he's kind of at a crossroads right now. He's not the U.S. champion anymore. It doesn't look like he's going to get it back anytime soon.
Oh,
So yeah, like he needs another major win to keep his momentum going and to get
yeah,
to that next level.
yeah. He
So
doesn't
I
need a
think
U.S.
it,
belt.
yeah, I think it happens here also, and I think he should definitely probably move to Raw.
Really?
Yeah, because he's pretty much done all he can on SmackDown. He's pretty much feuded with everyone. As far as the WWE title picture, he's not going to be winning it anytime soon as long as Cena's still around and Cody and all those guys. So I think a move to Raw would be good for him.
Okay. More potential
Yeah,
there too. Yeah, I see.
yeah. I mean, Penta's great. I love Penta, but I don't think he's gonna win it. I don't think he needs it personally. El
Not
Grande
yet.
Americano, not gonna happen.
No.
Solo Sokoa, definitely not gonna happen. Andrade, hell no, not gonna happen. No disrespect to those guys. But it comes down to either LA Knight or Seth Rollins. But if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go with LA Knights.
You saw
Especially
that dance?
considering the fact that they're gonna be in LA, why not give it to the dude?
Exactly. Come on now. Makes perfect sense.
Very much so.
Right. It's all come on, it's all written in the stars, man. Come on now. So yeah. I agree. I pick
Written
LA.
in written in the stars, a million miles away. For such a horrible WrestleMania, it had a really good theme song.
It did.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. But yeah, there's our predictions for Money in the Bank, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget this Saturday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern on Peacock.
Yes, definitely check it out. As of now, we only have 4 matches. There could be one more match added possibly tomorrow night on SmackDown. But
Yeah.
as of now, it's 4 matches. And yeah, kind of strange, especially if you're paying for a ticket to go to these damn shows. You're only going to get 4 matches.
My friend Danny, if you remember him, he's going.
Yeah. Oh, Clutch.
Yeah, he told me that the other day. He's like,
That's
yeah,
what's
my
up.
friend, my cousin, hooked me up some tickets. I was like, oh, cool, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm going to SummerSlam. I'm gonna get my ticket this weekend for SummerSlam.
They go on sale this weekend.
Not they've been on sale for a few weeks, but I'm gonna get my ticket.
Oh, I thought. Okay, my bad. I thought they were going on sale this week. This weekend.
Nah,
Okay,
they're already on
cool.
sale, and I get to see your favorite rapper Cardi B be the host.
Hmm. Dude,
Maybe she'll have a
that
new.
whole
Maybe
situation.
she'll have a new
Oh my god,
boyfriend
it's
there.
just
Maybe she'll have a new
a whole
boyfriend.
mess. I know the whole Stefan Diggs thing. Oh my god. Whew.
I don't even give a shit. I really don't even give a shit.
I don't
Like,
care either, though. I'm just like, it's the NFL's problem. Well, not the NFL's problem. The New England Patriots problem. I don't know what they're gonna do. I was hearing rumors they may release him after what happened, and I was whatever. I don't know, man.
honestly, her and Offset both seem a little toxic.
Aren't they?
I
Wait,
don't
they
know either
broke
one
up,
of them,
right?
but it
They're
doesn't
not
seem like.
together, right?
Yeah, they're getting divorced. Yeah, they're getting divorced.
Okay, because I was like, I'm confused. I was like, wait, are they together? Because I was like, wait, like she was with Stephon Diggs at that boat party or whatever. So I'm kind of confused. So I was like,
Um,
okay,
all right. We've talked about this shit long enough. Who cares? All right, so yeah, that's your Money in the Bank card. SummerSlam's coming up in August, 2 months from now. I can't wait. Hopefully, it's SummerSlam that keeps the momentum going from what happened last year. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But one person, unfortunately, who will not be a part of SummerSlam this year is R-Truth, as he put out a tweet this past Sunday stating that WWE will not be renewing his contract, so he is officially going to be out of the company.
yeah, and it was devastating. It was very devastating to hear that, man. And he's that you could say he's the goat when it comes to the comedy role in WWE.
Yeah, the
He's the
comedy
goat.
relief, he's perfect at that. And
Yeah.
yeah, between both stints in WWE dating back to his 2000 run, he's been in the company for 18 years. And yeah, he's like
Wow.
one of those people, kind of like Big Show and Mark Henry from a few years ago, that you thought would be lifers in WWE who would be around forever. But in this new
Yeah.
TKO era, apparently nobody's safe.
No, and then it was just revealed was it the other day that the reason why that he was released is because apparently WWE offered him a new contract, but it wasn't really a whole lot of money, and he just wasn't, he just no didn't want to
Yeah,
take
they were going
it.
to offer
So
him Yeah, they were going to offer him less money, apparently, according to Coachman. Take that with a grain of salt. And also,
ah,
apparently, this was also Triple H's decision because of the fact that, like, he's older, and for the money that he's making, it's not worth the investment. And also with I guess, the new people coming in from NXT, they want to make room for them. But damn, of all people, R-Truth, son. Yeah, this one's really strange.
definitely going to be missed. But already was missed because apparently during Raw, especially during the segment between CM Punk and Sami Zayn, the fans were chatting, "We want truth."
Yeah, and I think Rhea Ripley was seen like wearing an R-Truth shirt backstage at Raw.
Yeah,
And everybody's been coming up with tweets or like putting out tweets about how much they like him, how good of a dude he is, how much he's going to be missed,
yeah,
and just how strange it is that they would release somebody like him who's so like universally loved. And apparently,
yeah.
this has like brought the morale down backstage too, to the point where like now everybody
Mm,
feels like they don't have any job security anymore.
man. Speaking of money, I was just reading a little report that TKO's trying to kind of change Roman Reigns' contract,
Yeah, I saw
his
that too.
current one.
Apparently,
Yeah,
he's making $15 million a year, but they want to apparently
lower it.
have him have him make less. Yeah, these motherfuckers are greedy. They're making all this damn money, and breaking all these damn records with the amount of money they charge for tickets and all that jazz. Like saying they did the highest gate for this show, highest gate for that show in this city, in that city, and yet they want to release all these random people and cut costs from people they're already paying. Yeah, these some
Yeah.
greedy ass motherfuckers, man.
Hey man, I told you, I said this last week. Ever since the whole shenanigans with WrestleMania, when they decided at the last minute, okay, we're going to take it away from New Orleans and put it back in Vegas. As a fan, I now am starting to question TKO's decision making, man. I'm really questioning him now. Is kind of gotten worse now with this.
Yeah, it's just all weird. A lot of it feels very cutthroat, very grimy in many ways. But people
Agreed.
just use the excuse for it to say like, "Yo, it's just business,"
Mm.
which I
I
can
know it's
kind of get.
business though.
Which I can kind of get. Even in R-Truth's case, I kind of get it, but it's just strange because you just thought he would be a lifer. Like you just thought that like he always would have a role on the show, like no matter what, because he's just been around for so long. And hell, he just had a
Yeah.
Saturday night's main event match with John Cena 2 weeks ago.
Right. Exactly. But I
Yeah,
could
it's
tell
so
you what.
weird.
I'll tell you this though. I know he's gone though, but at least we could say he had his WrestleMania moment a year
Last
ago.
year, yeah, last year in the
That's
tag
yeah,
match with
a year ago.
Miz. Yeah, Miz said that was even like the best moment of his career was teaming with R-Truth.
Yeah, and I was really happy for them though because you got to remember they both go way back, and then for them to win that tag team titles at WrestleMania, that was a great moment. I loved it. Speaking of Miz, I heard that Miz unfollowed WWE on Twitter, I believe,
Oh yeah,
after our Truth was released.
honestly, he's another person who I think isn't safe. I don't want him to get released, but it's very possible that he could.
It's
Like
because the
just from
fact
what
that
we're
we
seeing
haven't really
now,
seen him that much, have we?
he's still on TV with what's his name, Carmelo Hayes. He was on TV last week.
Oh,
Hell, our Truth was on SmackDown last week. He lost to Jeff Cobb.
um,
Yeah, it's just really weird. Like you'll literally see these dudes on TV one day, then the next day you hear they're getting released.
yep,
And another person who just got released and whose contract's not going to be renewed is Carlito.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it came
another
out
guy.
Sunday that he's
I
also not going to be resigning, and it's definitely apparent from the Judgment Day skit we saw on Raw Monday because the PlayStation was gone.
Yeah, man, it's just weird. I remember. Look, you go back to Backlash a couple years ago, right? And that huge pop that he got when they were in Puerto Rico. I knew that he was going to come back later, and he did. I was just hoping that we were going to get that same kind of like that 2004 vibes of Carlito, where he's kind of like maybe he's getting pushed for a mid card title or something like that. You know what I mean?
I didn't see that happening. It was great that he
Not
got
like
that
that.
reaction. It was great that he got that
Just
reaction at Backlash. It was great and all, and like, he still has a lot to offer. But just dudes like this in this stage in their career, they're used more to establish the newer and up and coming talent. It's just how it goes.
mm,
Like when they brought back Superfly Jimmy Snuka, like in the late '80s, that's how they used him. When they brought back Jake the Snake Roberts in the mid '90s, like in '96, that's how they used him. When they brought back like
mm,
RVD, like in 2013 and 2014, they did the same thing with him.
okay,
It happens, man. When
okay.
these dudes are at this stage in their career, they still have value. They could still, produce, but at this stage, they're not going to be the champion. They're not going to be like in the main events like that. They're basically used to, bring up the next generation.
Okay.
But it's still sad to see the dude get released. He was like a great comedic relief as a part of the whole Judgment Day stable. He took those damn spears from Braun Breaker every week for like a good month or so. Even the
And
one at
he needs to get paid
WrestleMania.
extra for taking those spears. I've
Damn
lost
right,
count of how many
son.
spears. Right. Sheesh.
There was that one spear on Raw that went like viral a few months ago, where like just Breaker just like hauled ass down to the aisle and just like broke his ass in half, and not to mention
Right.
that spear through the announce table at WrestleMania. Holy
Russell,
shit!
dude, Michael Cole's about to lose his voice.
Yeah, he said he might be dead.
Right.
Yeah, he did all that shit, and this is how you repay him.
I know. You better give him some insurance or something like that, man. Give him a bonus. Give that man a bonus. Huh.
Yeah, but they released him, and they said they're not going to renew his contract. Damn
They
shame.
probably were being cheap. You know how like most companies are. They're not going to give their employees a raise, so we'll give them a pizza party. I was like, nah, dude, nah, no, hate that.
But I would say is one hell of a consolation prize would be Raquel Rodriguez agreeing to go out with him.
Yeah, and I thought they were gonna you eventually could have like
Get together.
set it off with each. Yeah, man.
Now there's still hope for me.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if she's vegan friendly.
I don't know, man, because she talks a lot about tacos. She loves her tacos, so I watch her
There's vegan
stories and
tacos.
everything.
I make them every day.
Huh?
There's vegan tacos. I make them all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she'll definitely be fond of my vegan tacos to the point where she'll want to move in, but we'll get into that some other time.
Your screen's frozen.
It's frozen. How does it look now?
It's paused. It's like you're not like moving or nothing like that.
That's weird. You could still hear me talk though, right?
Yeah, I can still hear you talk.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
But yeah, like I
All
was
right.
saying, like, yeah, Raquel Rodriguez, if I make dinner for her one night, she'll be begging to move in, but that's another
Okay.
story. All right, but anyway, back to Carlito. But yeah, he had a good run these last 2 years. Like, yeah, just that stuff he was doing with like Rey Mysterio and the LWO, then being a part of Judgment
Mm,
Day, like kind of being the comedic relief. He had a
hmm.
fitting final line when he was on Raw last week with like Roxanne Perez and Dominic, where he told Dominic to stop eating her nuggets.
Yeah.
Too damn funny. Yeah, but it's a shame, man. I hate to see people like just lose their jobs like this. I'm sure they're both fine financially. I'm sure they've made enough money throughout their careers where they're not going to be starving. But still, man, I definitely still feel for them. Obviously, the people that work with them feel for them because of how much they contributed. I'm sure like
Of
Dominic's probably
course.
bummed out about this, and yeah, everybody else in the
Dominic was
crew.
wearing a Carlito shirt this past Monday on Raw.
Yeah, so I heard apparently they were banned from wearing R-Truth shirts on the show.
I heard that too. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, because I saw the picture of Rhea Ripley wearing the R-Truth shirt like backstage from Raw on Monday, but then like when she had that brief segment with Stephanie Vacour, she was just wearing a red top.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like in this corporate world, this corporate greed bullshit. Yeah, nobody's safe. Even if you are a
Nope.
loyal soldier, even if you put in work, put in years, and do what's right. Yeah, they'll still treat you like this.
Mm-mm. Hmm.
Yeah, and also Sarah Logan. I know we haven't seen her in a while. She was a part of the War Raiders. She was like their manager. But Sarah Logan, she's
Oh.
also being released too.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah, she put out a tweet the other day talking about it. How yeah, she's not going to be getting renewed. She's not going to be brought back. Yeah, she was gone for a while because she was pregnant. She had a baby, but looks like kind of just like what they did with
Oh.
Carmella. Yeah, kind of like just like what they did with Carmella. They're not going to bring her back either.
Hmm. I see what you mean.
Yeah, too bad, man. I know it's business. I know it's a part of the game, but yeah, it still sucks to see people lose their jobs regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hopefully, maybe R-Truth, maybe they'll re-sign him under a Legends deal. Or, but then again, he said he didn't want to resign because they were going to pay him less. And I'm sure the Legends
Right.
deal will probably be less than what he was getting before. So, but maybe he'll make some appearances here and there. Like maybe he'll do a cameo every now and then or something. Because I heard they're going to probably do the same thing with Braun Strowman. So, yeah, that's possible. He could still be around every now and then, but he just won't be around every week.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, though, I mean, to him, Carlito, and everybody else who's being released, wish nothing but the best for them.
Yeah, definitely. They had great careers. They contributed a lot. They'll be fine. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I understand why people are upset about this, specifically the people that work with them. I can understand why all of them are upset. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, these things do happen in the wrestling business
Yeah.
or any business
All
for
the
that
time.
matter.
All the time.
Like basketball players get cut from their team. Even my Knicks, they fired Tom Thibodeau the other day, which we'll get into a
Yeah.
little bit later. Yeah,
Hmm.
these things happen all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, it sucks, man, but unfortunately, it is what it is. But one person who will now be a part of WWE after making her first appearance on NXT this past Tuesday is Mariah May.
Yeah. Ever since she was released from AEW, everybody was like, okay, she's going to go straight to WWE. And we were right.
Yeah, it came out last Friday that she was removed from the AEW roster page, and they were saying that her debut in WWE was inevitable. But I didn't expect it to happen this soon. Holy shit!
Yeah.
I thought it would have been like another month or so, but damn, like 4 days
Hmm.
later.
Yeah. That's pretty fast. Fast
Yeah,
work.
but it makes sense for her because she had that great feud with Timeless Tony Storm like last year going into this year, and just for the way it ended, like the match they had at Revolution, there was like nothing really else in AEW she could do that would be as big as that. So
Hmm.
in that sense, it made sense for her to come to WWE.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the work that she does there because she was killing it in that feud with Tony Storm. That match they had at Revolution was violent as fuck, son. That is by far the most violent women's match I've ever seen. Hell, one of the most violent matches I've ever seen, period. Bro, these women went to war. These women
Dude,
that
she
did
was
not give a
bleeding all
fuck.
over the place. My God, Tony
They were
Storm
both
was.
bleeding.
I know, but it felt like Tony was the worst.
I think there was even one spot where Mariah May hit Tony Storm with like a broken bottle, like in between her legs.
Oh my God.
Bro. But great feud. That feud they had throughout it was incredible, especially that ending. And it was so fitting. After the match was over on the screen, it said the end.
It's funny.
Brilliant, brilliant. So
Yeah.
yeah, she definitely earned her stripes in that feud, and I look forward to seeing what work she does in WWE. But she will not be having the same name Mariah May. Apparently, she's gonna have a name change, which is yet to be uh,
Oh, of course. I mean,
announced.
that happens to everybody. Even if you, vice versa, like even when you go from WWE to AEW, you're gonna, of course, gonna have a name change. Like, okay, I get it. Adam Copeland couldn't use Edge, but Cope, that I still can't get over that.
I still call him Adam Copeland. I can't call him Cope. I can't.
Cope,
I can't. I can't.
this doesn't sit well with me.
Doesn't sit well with
Cope.
me either. But Mariah May, welcome to the WWE, and look forward to seeing what work you do in the coming months. But one person who's like really made an ass of himself, especially over this last week, was Hall of Famer Nature Boy Ric Flair. And in the most recent tweet after Jim Ross had his colon cancer surgery last week, this is what Flair had to say. This is what this fucking dude had to say. Jim Ross will always be Jim Ross, seeking attention. Just focus on your recovery.
Oh, disgusting. Come on,
What a
Flair.
what an asshole, son. What a fucking asshole.
Dude
I've
just
been
had
trying to
colon.
Yeah, I've been trying to down my use of the word fuck on this show, but it has to be said in this case.
Yeah, I look. The dude just had colon cancer surgery, man. You know what I mean? And you want to reach out to your fans and people who care about you and love you about your progress. That's all you're doing. It's not seeking attention. It's just, come on. And
Yeah,
Flair, and I think he forgets. I mean, there's no justification for what he said. He forgets that um, we're living in a world where it's social media. You know what I mean? It's not like this is 30, 40 years ago where you hear about something and then, oh, I'm going to. No, it's not that time anymore, man. It's different, though. But regardless, as this, come on, it's embarrassing. It's disgusting what Ric Flair said. Come on, man.
chances are he was probably drunk when he tweeted that, which is no fucking
No
excuse.
excuse.
No excuse at
No
all.
excuse, man.
But
Come
just in
on,
general, he's
Flair.
been doing this like in asinine kind of bullshit for years. Like
Yeah,
just like the
yeah.
public feuds he's been getting on social media. Like he had a feud with Becky Lynch on social media a couple years ago. Even Seth Rollins got involved in it, like to the point where like Seth Rollins ignored him when Flair tried to say hi to him once. Yeah, he's been making an ass out of himself for years. Like him and Hogan, for whatever reason, for as legendary as they are, and for as many classic moments as they've been a part of in wrestling, they are like two of the prime examples of people who like just tarnish their legacy big time.
And age don't mean anything. Just because you're older don't mean you're, doesn't make you smart or anything like that.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with age. It's just these dudes, for whatever reason, just can't let go of the spotlight. Which is funny. That's rich of Flair to accuse JR of, always seeking attention when he's been notorious for decades. Hell, he had that big retirement at WrestleMania just to come out of retirement a year and a half later.
Yeah, that was just dumb. Yep.
Yeah, and all the womanizing, being in rap videos and all this other jazz. He's one to talk about, seeking attention and being desperate for attention. Fuck out
Yep.
of here.
Come on, dude.
That's
Like
why.
the
That's
dude,
why. Go
cancer.
ahead.
Come on,
Yeah, the
cancer.
dude just had a cancer operation. He's gonna be in recovery. He has a long recovery ahead of him, and you're gonna accuse him of seeking attention. And you and Jr. go way back. Him and Jr. go way back to like the '80s. And he claimed that he actually introduced Jr. to his wife, who unfortunately passed away from the car accident a
Wow.
few years ago. He like claimed that he
Wow.
was the one who introduced them.
Wow.
And I guess maybe he still holds a grudge against JR for like the things he said about Flair on that Dark Side of the Ring episode about the plane ride from hell. But what a
Come on.
asinine, stupid comment to make,
Yeah.
bro.
Embarrassing.
I wonder what his kids think about his behavior these days, honestly.
Oh my god.
Like Charlotte.
Yeah. Like grow
Yeah, it's
up, man.
ridiculous, man. Yeah, dude's 76 years old and he still acts like he's in his 20s.
Right.
Hell, like even hearing those stories of him, like, like wearing his robe and being naked underneath and like flashing people, like him doing that shit in his 50s, you're like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It was funny. Like earlier today, I read this quote from Muhammad Ali. It was talking about if you view the world the same when you're 50, right? Like you did when you're in your 20s, you wasted 30 years of your life. I was like, whoa. That was
Big
like, wow,
time. Exactly.
wow,
Even Triple H and Punk, even Triple
wow.
H and Punk had that discussion. Even Triple H and Punk had that discussion before Punk came back. Like when they were like, talking about their issues. That's like the main thing Triple H said.
Oh, that quote.
Yeah, like, if you still see the world the same way 10 years later as opposed to you, and I'm sorry, if you see the world the same way 10 years later that you did 10 years before, then you wasted a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
You fucked up.
Like you got to remember, the world has changed. It's not the same as it was back then.
Yeah, you and I are not the same people we were when we first met 7 years ago or 5 years ago
Oh,
when we first started the show. And if we are those same
exactly.
people, and if we were those same people we wasted a lot of damn time and messed up.
Yeah, you got to evolve and move on to different things. We both graduated from college. You moved to, like, you've been to two
Twice.
places now, twice. I'm in a relationship. I'm about to be a dad soon, and yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man, it's sad. And like,
yeah.
yeah, that combined with all the divorces, the womanizing, the excessive drinking. The dude almost died from drinking so much and he still drinks.
Right. That I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah. Like, who are you to say that, man? Come on.
I hate the fact that I have to do this. Actually, no, I'm kind of happy I get to do this now. Ric Flair is going to be the next victim on the Conscious Kurt this list. So Flair,
Hey, what's
I'm
that?
coming. So
Hey, what's the
Flair,
Kurt? What's the that one area they call, was it during the BET awards show where all the rappers were together and just each of them were taking turns spitting bars? What was
ciphers.
it
Yeah,
called?
the
The
ciphers.
cipher? Yeah, your
Yeah, the
version of the
ciphers. That's what a
cipher.
cipher is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Flair, if you hear this, just know that I'm coming for you and your happy hour drinks too. Those Mai
I've been
Tais,
seeing a lot
those
of
Mai
I've been
Tais,
seeing
those
a lot of your happy
penicillins,
hour
those
drinks lately,
margaritas.
Kurt.
Yeah, those Mai Tais, those penicillins, those margaritas, they're coming with me, son.
You're gonna take his drinks, Kurt. Oh god.
Damn, I'm doing him a favor. I'm doing him a favor. And I can actually
Hey,
drink
no, you
responsibly.
know what Ric Flair is? Ric Flair is Apollo Creed and Rocky Four. When Rocky was telling Apollo, "Was like, man, we got to change." He's like, "I don't want to change. I like who I am."
Nah, this is worse. This is far worse. This is worse.
Oh God, I know, but that's like the mindset that Flair has. Like he just,
Yeah,
like, I don't want to change. I don't like, bro. You gotta. It's not the
you
same
have
world
to.
anymore, man.
In some ways, you have to. There's certain things about yourself you can keep the same and that you probably should keep the same, but there's other parts of yourself that you have to evolve from. You have to. You have no
Like you can't
choice.
be doing that no more, man. Or if you are, you
Yeah.
have to keep it. You have to have a balance and just tone it down a little bit, man. You just, yeah, man. You can't be, nah.
And he went another like rant yesterday, another tweet where he talked about how he makes $3 million a year. He gets paid $3 million, and how he doesn't talk to people who aren't rich, and you'll never understand what it's like to be famous. When you're famous like me, this is how you live. This is what you do. You wouldn't understand. Yeah, dude, somebody needs to like delete this dude's Twitter account, all his social media accounts, and like yeah, just put
Sheesh.
his ass into hiding.
At least Kevin Durant stayed off the whole social media thing with you saying nonsense, man. That right there was a change because I've not heard Kevin Durant talk any nonsense on social media lately.
Look,
Not for
Kevin
the longest
Durant
time.
definitely. Look, Kevin Durant has his faults for like the way he comes off online, definitely, but he's not
Yeah.
that bad. He's not that bad.
Well, exactly, and more importantly, I don't think he does it. He doesn't even do it anymore. I don't even remember the last time he ever said anything, dumb or whatever on social media.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, some famous people they just don't know how to act in public. They don't know
Yeah,
how to act, period. And as a result, you get tweets like the one Ric Flair put out about Jim Ross.
yeah.
But Jim Ross, we hope you get well soon. With that aside, we hope you get well
Oh yeah.
soon. Thinking
I'm
about you.
I'm
And
happy. Yeah, I'm really happy that the surgery went well. So all he has to
yeah, me
do
too.
now is just be on his recovery, and yeah,
Yeah, don't let the insensitive assholes like Ric Flair ruin your day or bother you.
yeah.
They're not worth it.
Nope.
So yeah, Jim Ross, I'm gonna get him for you. I promise. I'm gonna get him for you.
He would take his Mai Tais. His
You damn right I am.
margaritas. Don't forget his champagne, Kurt.
Champagne. Yeah, fuck it. I'll take the champagne too. Anyway, I was sipping some margaritas on Saturday night. I was in a very kind of down state after my New York Knicks were eliminated from the NBA playoffs by the Indiana Pacers. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Kurt.
just the
Oh
biggest
man,
thing. The biggest thing. It was just such a fun vibe out here with the Knicks being in the playoffs and doing so
I
well
know.
that it's just
Yeah.
sad that it's over now.
Hey, that's trust me. I feel what you're feeling because I've been through that before, where it's like
Yeah,
your team is on a good run, and it's the best feeling in the world as a sports fan. You want it to continue. You have hope that, like, oh my god, like, what if this is the year for us? And then when it ends, it's just like it's like a punch in the gut feeling. You're kind of like, man, I can't believe it's over. You know what I mean? I know that
yeah,
feeling.
yeah. But in all honesty, we lost that series in game one.
I told you. Even everybody on First Take said it. Like, if they
Yeah,
lose this series, it was all going to trace back to game one.
and it did. It's great that we, pushed it to at least 6 games. And I thought we had a chance in game six in the first half, but then in that second half, we just fell
Oh
apart.
yeah, yeah, yep.
Yeah,
Mm,
it sucks, but I'm grateful that they at least had the run that they did have this year, and that I was here to
mm,
be a part of it. Yeah, it was a great experience just to like be living in New York with the Knicks doing well and the playoffs, having a deep run in the playoffs. I mean, it's
yeah,
sad that it ended the way it did, but I'm at least grateful that it did happen. But
making the
unfortunately, they decided to take their frustrations and take that loss out on Coach Tom Thibodeau. As Tuesday it came
mm,
out that he was relieved of his duties.
yeah. It's been mixed. Some people are saying, well, wait a minute, he's been for 3 years and you lose to the Pacers a lot. So yeah, and there's some people who are like are against it, but like, hey, look, this is kind of like year one of this roster that they did. And in that first year, you took them to the Eastern Conference Final for the first time in 25 years. That alone is an accomplishment, and you get fired. So the reception from the fans, mainly from Knicks fans, has been mixed.
My brother was even talking about it after they lost on Saturday that they probably should get rid of him because he
Oh,
made some
really?
mistakes. Yeah, because he made some
Yeah,
mistakes
yeah.
throughout the
Well,
regular season. Like throughout the regular season, they didn't beat any of the top teams at all.
yeah, and I heard like he gets criticized for his rotations or whatever. Like
Yeah,
he
because he'll
keeps
play
like
like play some of his players too long, and they end up getting
yeah,
tired, and maybe not some of
hmm
the role players enough. Because there was even in
yeah,
game one, like there was even parts of game one where like Jalen Brunson was on the bench, and and everybody else like playing in his place, they were holding it down. They were still keeping the lead up to like 14 points or 17 points or whatever it was by that point. Yeah, like even without Brunson in the game, they were still keeping the lead up. But then when Brunson got back into the game, they kind of lost the lead. So that was like
pretty
another
much like
criticism,
kind of
like
uh,
depending on Brunson too much. Yeah, depending on Brunson and the stars too much, and not depending on the other players as much as maybe you should.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a tough one. I mean, there's definitely a case for keeping him because yeah, he got you guys to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years.
25
Knocked off
years.
knocked off the defending champion Boston Celtics in the process.
Yeah.
Brought the Knicks to
Hmm.
their first back-to-back 50-win season since 1995, 30 fucking
Wow.
years.
Wow.
And they've made the playoffs 4 of the last 5 years ever since he took over as their coach. So yeah, it's kind
Yep.
of a weird and sketchy thing to fire somebody like that. But
Hmm.
I sincerely hope, I know I'm asking a lot, that they have an idea and have a plan in place for this.
Oh, of
And a
course.
plan,
You have to. After what you just did, I've been hearing rumors that, well, not just that, but from fans saying how that Mike Malone should be the next head coach.
and also Mark Jackson, I've been seeing that float around too.
Oh yeah, our friend Nate mentioned that Mark Jackson should be the head coach. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he was the one who pretty much built up the Warriors before they started winning titles. My brother
Yep.
was even mentioning that too, how like they, even though he was a good coach for the Warriors, they weren't winning titles until they got Steve Kerr. So maybe that might
Yep.
be a similar scenario that happens here, where whoever ends up
Mm-hmm.
coaching them next will lead them to the promised land. If that happens, I'm cool with it. If that happens, I'll sit here 1 year from now and say, "Yo, firing Thibodeau was the best decision." But
Yeah,
until
but if they
then,
don't make it, but if they don't have a season like they did, or they don't make it to the conference final, they're gonna look like, okay, what they did was the wrong decision.
yeah, like if they end up like losing in the first or second round next year, and they don't go to at least the conference finals next year, then this
Yeah.
move was a mistake.
Right.
But only
Mm.
time will tell. But I'm just grateful that they had the season that they did, that they went as far as they went, and I was here for it. But damn, did it suck to see them lose.
I
Like
know.
ask,
To the
ask my
Indiana
friend,
Pacers of all teams, the Indiana Pacers.
yeah, yeah, this is like the third time they've beaten us in the playoffs, like in the last decade.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
Mm.
why I'm rooting for the Thunder to win the championship.
Same. I like this Thunder team. They're very young, and it's kind of cool how, like, you know the Thunder were in the finals in 2012. There were times where they should have made it again and they didn't. And then you after Kevin Durant left and Westbrook left and Harden left, you thought like, oh, this franchise is not going to be the same anymore. And look, they're back in the finals. Crazy.
Yeah, they've been killing it the last few years, and now they're finally in the
Yep.
finals with the league MVP
Yep.
with SGA. And yeah, I hope they win. To be honest, I'm not that interested in this finals compared
Same.
to what I would have been if some other teams were in it. But who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us.
Dude, it's been a while since I've I think the last finals match where I was really like into it was the Warriors and Celtics from 2022.
Yeah, that was a good series. But even for me, it's kind of the one before that, the Bucks and the Sun series.
Really?
That was a
Hmm.
good series. Yeah, that was a good ass
It was a
series.
good series. I'm talking about like for the matchup, like before the series started, you were like looking forward to it, type of
Yeah,
deal.
that Celtics and Warriors one I was hyped for too. I kind of wanted to
Yeah.
see that like in 2018, but it didn't work out that way.
Oh God. Yeah, that's why I wanted that too. Because damn it, I got so tired of seeing Warriors and Cavs, man. Damn, 4 straight years.
And not even that,
Damn.
and not even that. By that point, by 2018, the Cavs weren't even as good anymore. Like besides LeBron, they didn't really have anybody
Ay,
who could like
jeez,
really
I
carry
got
them.
so sick of that, man. Why do you
Yeah,
think?
the first 2 years it was good. Like 2015 and 2016, the series were good, but then 2017 and 2018 they sucked, especially 2018.
Man, why do you? And then also, like, why do you think I was so happy when Toronto won in
Oh, that was
2019? I
great.
love that.
That was
Love
great.
that run. Oh my God. I don't care what
Kawhi should
anybody
have
says.
stayed
Oh, he
there.
only won because of Kevin Durant, huh?
Kawhi should have stayed there. Honestly, he should have stayed
He
there.
should have. That's what I'm saying. Like to this day, to this day. See, I know why he left because like you're gonna be in America, you're in a bigger market in LA. I get that, more money, but you haven't done anything. The furthest he ever made it, Kurt, was to the Western Conference Final. And that was in 2021 when they lost to the Suns. That's the closest he's ever been. He in all the load management and all that crap. Like, dude, it hasn't. His run with the Clippers has not been good. If he
No, it
would have
hasn't.
stayed, if he would have stayed in Toronto, oh, he would have definitely would have won another ring. That is for certain.
Hell, they were still good the year after. This year after they went to the like
They
second round
were.
and pushed the Celtics to Game 7.
Yeah. That run that they
Yeah, they
had in
had a
2019 was memorable.
yeah, especially that one game in the conference semis when they beat the Sixers like with a shot at the buzzer.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
man. Yeah, that night 2019 Raptors team was solid. Yeah, it was a huge shock to see them win, but it was nice to have a
Yeah.
new team in the mix. And it's so funny. Ever since then, there's like been no team that's repeated as champions. The last team that repeated as champions
Nope.
was the Warriors in 2018.
Yeah. And it's another thing that bums me out before you move on. The fact that 2020 Lakers team, they didn't stay together. If they would have stayed together, they would have won another championship.
But they haven't been the same since.
You know what I mean? Look, I'm happy that they got Luca and all that stuff, but look, I love LeBron, but it's like the fact that okay, the following year, I get it, they lost to Phoenix though, but they still could have kept that team gel together, right? And then LeBron, you know how he is, he wants to play GM and wants to call the shots. He brings in Westbrook, he brings in Carmelo Anthony. I just like, oh my god, that really that was kind of like the downfall of that team when they did that, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, and also shout out to Russell Westbrook. I heard he retired recently.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey
shout
man,
out to
I know he's gonna be happy if the Thunder pull it off, man. That would be. Come on now. I know he's been
I
pulling
kind
for
of
Thunder.
I kind of wish he never left the Thunder, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think he had any really like help, man. I think that's one of the reasons he got traded, or he asked to leave.
I remember he went to the Rockets after that. Yeah, he went to the Rockets.
Did he get traded, or did he wanted to leave? If I remember.
I think he got traded because I remember Chris Paul was on the Rockets, and then Chris Paul
Hmm.
was on the Thunder, and then yeah, Westbrook was on the Rockets.
Oh right, okay. Hmm.
That was another team I was surprised didn't go to the finals. Was that Rockets team where like James Harden was the star player? Yeah, I was really shocked that they never went to a finals.
Dude, they almost. What year was it? Was it 2018? It was
Yeah, they pushed
that
the
year
Warriors.
against the Warriors. Yeah, that was
They
it.
pushed
Yeah.
them to Game 7,
Uh-huh. Yep.
but it didn't happen.
Nope.
That was one of the few times that year where like the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals both went to Game 7, and honestly, that was the highlight of the whole playoffs because that finals we got afterwards was not good.
I did not watch it. Not one game, Kurt.
I,
It only went 4 games. I did not watch one game. That's
yeah, it was
the
bad. Yeah, it was
yeah,
a bad.
yeah,
Hopefully, we get somewhat of a good finals this year. Hopefully, they surprise us, even though it does not look that exciting on paper. But who
yeah.
knows? Anything's possible.
I just wanted the Knicks to be in it. The ratings would have went
Yeah,
through the roof, Kurt, if the Knicks were in that finals.
yeah, it would have been great. It would have been pandemonium in the damn city, but it would have been great
For real.
pandemonium to be part of.
You probably would have been Kurt if the Knicks were in the finals. You would not be recording this podcast at your place. You probably would have been under a shelter somewhere under like the freaking under the subway
Well, I'm in
somewhere
Long
with the
Island.
Ninja Turtles, huh?
Well, I'm in Long Island, so that kind of madness is going to spread out to here. It's the fucking suburbs.
You you probably would have been recording under the sewers with the Ninja Turtles right now because this city would have been in ruins,
We could have Michelangelo as a co-host on the show.
right?
Cowabunga, son.
Oh my god.
All right, man. Anything else you want to get into today?
Oh, Roxanne Perez.
Oh, yes, that's right. It came out today. Adam Pierce even put out a tweet about it that Roxanne Perez was the victim of a stalker on Twitter, and the page, like running the Twitter page, like tweeted out her address and like tweeted out a bunch of threatening stuff to her. And like the title of the page, the name on the page said, "Is Roxanne Perez dead yet?"
Horrible.
Yeah, very disgusting, very disturbing. Yeah, I can imagine
Yeah.
what she's dealing with right now. Yeah, so they're getting to
Mm.
the bottom of that. And also, a person who was apparently the stalker of Liv Morgan was arrested at the PC on Tuesday.
At the PC.
Yeah, the Performance Center.
Oh. Okay. Wow. Wow. My God.
Yeah, it's
Jesus.
crazy, man.
These wrestling fans, man. You are really giving other wrestling fans a bad rep right now, man. and
And
it's
just men
not
in
good.
general. And they're giving men in general a bad name by pulling this kind of shit too.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think Liv Morgan spoke on how not all of them, but most fans that approach her have bad hygiene.
Oh shit. Maybe she was being a heel
Yeah,
when she was doing that, but that wouldn't surprise
I
me.
don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think that was like a real life real interview that she on the record that she had, man. And it you guys need to
Do
boundaries,
better.
man. You got to remember at the end of the day, I know like these wrestlers are like these larger than life characters to us, like they're everything to us, you know what I mean, that we look up to. But you got to remember at the end of the day, not just wrestlers but athletes, movie stars, musicians, you got to remember at the end of the day, they're people just like us. They have lives. Respect it.
Yeah, they have lives, they have personal space, and invade that personal
Yeah,
space by doing that, you are not a fan.
like I think I remember Kevin, like, dude, Kevin Owens was just recently talking about stuff like this not too long ago about how um if he's at the airport, right, and he's about to go to his plane, he's not gonna take the person's autograph. He doesn't care how much of an asshole that he's gonna look. Like, nah, like, dude, please. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a time and place for that shit. There's a time and place for that. If it's like after the show, like if it's after the show, like as they're leaving, that's one thing. Or like at an autograph signing, whatever, that's cool. But if they're at the
Yeah.
airport, if they're on their private time, it's like if they're like out to dinner with their family or something, or out with their family, like at a theme park, yo, leave them the hell alone.
Yep.
Yeah, boundaries. A lot of people just need to learn how to respect boundaries, and by not respecting those boundaries and invading them, you are not a real fan. You are a fucking
Thank you.
creep, just like these people are.
Just disgusting, man. Come on, like,
Yeah, and remember
whew.
and remember that whole story with Sonya Deville a couple years ago when that dude like tried to like break into her house and like kidnap her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And it's not even just with wrestling; it's even like with other celebrities in general. Like how people would just become so obsessed with them and like so consumed by like meeting them and like being involved in their lives that they just take it too far. Like remember that movie The Fan with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit like
Uh,
that.
John Lennon, prime example,
Oh
Kurt.
yeah, John Lennon.
Yeah.
Hell, even the lady who killed Selena.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Like especially when you're a celebrity, yeah, some like certain people out to get you, and it's unfortunate that
It,
some of those people out
it,
to get
it,
you are people who are
it's a
supposedly fans.
it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah, big time. But yeah, I hope they're
Hmm.
safe. I hope they're okay, and I hope that these people don't ever bother them again.
Yeah, you gotta remember, Roxanne Perez is only 23, Kurt.
Yeah, she's super young.
Dude, my God, man, come on, dude. Mm.
Yeah, but hopefully they're safe. Hopefully they're okay, and yeah, hopefully this shit is put to bed.
Yeah, please.
All right, bro. All right, bro. Anything else you want to get into on this Thursday afternoon?
No, not at all. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Money in the Bank this Saturday, Inglewood, California, in the shadows of Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen, at the brand new Intuit Dome. Like I said, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern on Peacock. You don't want to miss it. Money in the Bank, ladies and gentlemen. And also, please remember to subscribe to our episodes. Follow us on social media, on Twitter, known as X, or Instagram at the champs.clash. And also subscribe to our episodes on Spotify, Speaker, and YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, connect with us, holler at us, leave comments under the episodes, and let us know what you think. We'd be more than happy to debate with you and discuss with you all these topics in a healthy way. Keyword healthy way. And yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna be here for you guys for a long time to come, breaking off you guys with that wrestling goodness, wrestling knowledge, wrestling controversy, and everything in between. So until next time, for John Randall, this is Conscious Kurt with another edition of Clash of Champions. Take care, enjoy Money in the Bank this Saturday, and remember, most of all, don't be an asshole, a douchebag, or a creepy stalker in real life or social media, because that toxic bullshit is for the birds.
And also stay safe, stay blessed, and always stay adventurous.
And to those fans that Liv Morgan was talking about, wear deodorant too.
Not only that, soap, everything, soap,
Yeah,
cologne. If you just have to get the Axe cologne, just get that. Jesus.
whatever. Just take better care of yourselves. Be better people. Do better. And who knows? Things can possibly change for you for the better. All right, I think that's all we need to say. Peace out,
That's
guys.
all.
See you
Yeah.
guys next week.
Peace.